Frickbears is, at least in my opinion, the best FNAF fan game to ever exist. Long have I wanted for a UCN-inspired game where you choose what threats to add as the nights continue, and that's what I wish Pizza Sim was, and now that's what we get for Frickbears 3. Anyways, you should know now that I'm a little insane when it comes to FNAF games. Nowhere near the levels of UCN Deluxe or PMAC Pixel Pointer, yet at least, but more in the level of Blood 720 and Minus 7, which in the grand scheme of things isn't that impressive. But it's impressive for a newbie. Anyway, I was looking at the 4 forbidden achievements the game offered to see what could maybe be turned into a video. 100%? Nah, I'm almost already there. No power-ups? Cool idea, but it seems the least interesting of the few. Infernal 47?
Alright, these are really cool challenges, right? These are nice with the audio the monitor off, and the computer unplugged.
I'm good, honestly. Naked and Afraid? Hey, we can do something with this. The achievement requires you to play on Lunatic difficulty, purchase the Talbot files, and salvage the maximum amount of animatronics, that being 5 on the first 4 salvage locations, and 4 on the 5th one, which would end in a 30 animatronic total, all on max AI. At least I think. I don't actually know the exact AI levels on night 6, but all the other nights have everyone at max AI. If that's wrong, please correct me and I'll pin your comment. Anyway, before we get into it, thank you all for your patience. Originally, this video was going to be on UCN, but I spent months grinding No Death Coin and lost my mind. Also, one last disclaimer, this will likely be outdated in a month or two, as Frickbears 3 is getting a major update, increasing the roster from 47 to 80. With all that being said, let's get straight into it. Night 1 is the same on every Lunatic playthrough, so I'll use this opportunity to explain the mechanics alongside the main threats. Frickbears is very clearly inspired by Ultimate Custom Night, which can immediately be seen by everything being used as a hotkey. The cameras, doors, flashlight, masks, and even the camera systems. Speaking of the systems, you have the cameras, which are the same as any FNAF game, the vents, which work similarly to Pizza Sim's vents, but you can actually see the location of the animatronics in the vents, the shop, which will be the GOAT with this achievement, and minigames, which I'll go more into later. There's no idle power drain, which, thank God, I would explode if there was any form of idle drain in this game. Now onto animatronics. On Lunatic, you start off with 7 threats in Night 1, which can all be categorized into 3 groups. The doors, masks, and camera animatronics, which most threats apply to these categories, with a few exceptions. The door animatronics all work almost identically. If you hear them in the panning ear, close their respective doors. Bonnie and Chica growl and also have a visual cue of their eyes glowing. Freddy uses the FNAF 4 Fredbear laugh, and Foxy uses his FNAF 1 running sound. You can actually stall Foxy in the cameras. If the cameras are on, but not on Foxy's camera, his progression is stalled by 50%. If you are on his camera but the cameras are turned off, the same is true. But if you are actively watching his camera, he is stalled completely. People who play a voice line when he enters the vents kills them. You have 6 seconds to put on the mask for a few seconds, which will make him leave. And finally, Puppet, whose music drains on about a 45-second timer. You can quickly flip up the cameras, reset the music, and then flip him down. Where have I seen this before? Regardless, Night 1 is incredibly easy. Now for the fun part, salvages. After every night, you need to salvage a certain amount of animatronics, depending on the difficulty. We have to do 5 as per the stipulations of this challenge, so I'll explain all of them and then show you which ones I'll be taking. Withered Freddy will travel between your 2 doors, and you'll see him through the front window. If he disappears, or his footsteps stop, close the door he's at, and he'll ping-pong to the other door. He's widely considered to be the hardest animatronic at this location. Withered Bunny will show up either when you're in the office or when you flip down the cameras. Quickly put on the mask to deal with him. Or, if you have the AR mask, do nothing. What's the AR mask, you may say? I'll explain the items in Night 2. Have a little patience. Withered Chica works identically to Balloon Boy, and I do mean identically, which reminds me that I forgot to mention that Balloon Boy kills you on max AI. Withered Foxy will show up at your window, and you need to use the flashlight on him until he leaves. Yeah, that's it. He's pretty simple. Endigo 2 will show up at your window, and if you use your flashlight for more than a collective 0.5 seconds when he's present, he'll kill you. And yes, it is 0.5 seconds and not immediately. There is some leeway between that. Golden Freddy is one of the freest characters in the game. He'll show up when you flip down the camera. Just put down your mask immediately and then take it off right after, which after playing enough will just become some muscle memory. And finally, the extra animatronic, Springtrap. He will travel down the left side of the building and eventually reach your office. The intended way to deal with him is to use the flashlight on him until he returns to the backstage camera, but that's not how we're going to deal with him. Now looking at the roster I picked, Look, I can explain. I don't actually find Withered Freddy to be that difficult, while Endo is one of the animatronics that I want to avoid at all costs. So why did I avoid Withered Chica? Well, this is actually set up for a later animatronic. And again, just, hey, be patient, god damn it. Not much to explain for Night 2, as I went over all the present animatronic mechanics so far, so I'll use this time to talk about strategy for the night and future nights. In Mendo's upgrade shop, there are 3 that stand out as the best upgrades: laser doors, distortion clock, and the mimic ball. But to buy things, you need money. And how do we get money? Welcome to that one part in literally every Five Nights at Frickbears 3 video that talks about strategy, the one that we all know was coming, Thread Sweeper. Before Frickbears 3 came out, my knowledge of Minesweeper was very little, but now I'd like to say I'm fairly decent at it. Now finally, when you do have these coins, which is 30 for Thread Sweeper by the way, there are 3 main upgrades that make or break runs, and then a few others that are overall just really useful. The laser doors will shut both your left and right door for no power cost for 60 whole seconds. The distortion clock will advance time by 1 in-game hour, or 60 whole seconds. And the mimic ball will copy whatever the most recently purchased item was, so if you just got both golden cupcakes, you can buy a third by using the mimic ball. Some other really fantastic items are the just now mentioned golden cupcake, which is basically an investing simulator, and then the AR mask, which acts as if you have the Freddy mask on for 60 whole seconds, and the battery pack, which gives you 10% more power for 10 coins. But mainly, the laser doors and distortion clock are your best friends. Other than that, there isn't much to talk about for Night 2. Oh yikes, I'm gonna have to say Shadow Bonnie's name a lot, aren't I? God damn it, Vivi, why'd you write this in the script? The second Salvage location contains the toy animatronics RWQ FSFAC RWQ FSFAC RWF RQ RWQ FSF ASXC, Jesus Christ, and Lefty. And the choices here are much easier than Salvage 1. Toy Freddy requires you to beat a minigame's high score. I wonder which minigame could help with that. Toy Bonnie works identically to Balloon Boy, but is more easily fooled by the audio lure, which honestly does not come into play very often. Toy Chica will send her cupcake to one of 5 locations in the office. Clicking on the cupcake will prevent her from killing you. Mangle will occupy a different camera on every camera flip, and watching them for 1 collective second will kill you. If Mangle is on a camera that you need to be on, quickly flip up and down the monitor so that way Mangle will move positions. JJ works identically to Toy Bonnie, except can't kill you and will just lock your doors instead, which honestly is just basically killing you. RWQ FSF ASXC will slowly materialize in the office, and you just need to use the flashlight on them. Lefty is also considered one of the hardest characters, being an inverse of Toy Bonnie. They will avoid the audio lure and only travel on the outskirts, as well as the mask not deterring them. However, if Lefty gets to one of these spots on the vent map, an audio lure in one of these spots will completely trap them. As you can see, I left out JJ and Mangle. Mangle because they suck, and JJ yet again for setup. Night 3 has nothing interesting happening, other than my first death at Springtrap because I accidentally opened the left door. I'll go more into strategy on why that mattered in Night 6, but just for now, know that Nights 1 through 5 are extremely uneventful. The third Salvage location is based on FNAF 3, I'm seeing a trend here. This location has a lot of animatronics based on that being really fucking annoying. Also, some FNAF 6 animatronics are here. I don't know why, they just are here, like, Who are you? Helpy will show an ad on screen. This does nothing except block some parts of your vision. Malhair limits how many camera flips you can have. I fucking hate Malhair so much to the point where I didn't even collect footage of what he does. Just trust me that Malhair sucks. The phantoms are free, but also annoying. They appear on the cameras, and if you go 1 full second without using your flashlight on them or changing cameras, they'll drop your cameras, jack up the temperature, and stun you in place until their jump scare ends, which is about 1.5 seconds. Which, if someone like Wolf or Plushtrap spawned on the cam flip, their timer is running during that jump scare, so try and preempt one of Wolf's discs if that happens and close the right door. Shadow Freddy turns out the light for 60 seconds. I wrote in the script, fuck Shadow Freddy, but like, after playing with him, he's not that bad. I don't know why I hated Shadow Freddy so much. Mr. Hippo acts identically to the other mask animatronics. However, he doesn't say a voice line in the vent. He saves those voice lines for when he gets into your office.
Why, am I glad to see you? You know, I'd actually been thinking about it a lot recently. Specifically magic, because my buddy Orville... Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to say something? Alright, where was I? He's a magician. And, there's a lot of argument in the world about, the real...
Music Man will play random sounds throughout the night. Just, you know, random sounds. They don't do anything, he just plays random sounds. And finally, Scrap Baby is effectively another puppet, but drains your power if you're not quick enough instead of just outright killing you. It's your decision which one is worse. Night 4 is super easy, so I'm going to use this section to complain about the mask animatronics. They're so annoying, oh my god. Playing Thread Sweeper? Sorry, BB just arrived. Collecting Bitty Babs on night 6? Oopsies, Mr. Hippo is here. They just halt your momentum during the night. And I know some people call them easy, but they're by far some of the hardest threats in the game simply because they break cycles. Anyway, you really don't want to hear me complain about Balloon Boy again, do you? I'll group Night 5 into this section because I did a death list, and frankly the difficulty doesn't exist until Night 6. Anyways, this location is based off FNAF 4. Very obvious, I know. Plushtrap is considered to be very difficult. On every camera flip, he'll appear in either your left or right side of your window and hide behind one of the doors. You can stall him by closing the door he's at, but to get rid of him fully, you need to use the flashlight at the door he's at. Red Bear is another window animatronic like Withered Foxy, but will ask for candy when he appears on the far left and right side of your office. Give him the corresponding candy or he'll kill you. I have fumbled this a couple times in other playthroughs, and of course these assholes are back to torment me after Blood 720. Have I not had enough? Jesus Christ. Leave me alone, Candy the Cat. Nightmare Fredbear is a temperature check. If the office gets above 5 bars in temperature, he'll start attacking. This can be very easily forgotten, and on night 6, I've had an embarrassing amount of deaths to Nightmare Fredbear. Twisted Wolf is your precision check for the office cycles. Click on the, quote, illusion disc. Okay, pause. Why did Scott Cawthon think illusion discs were a good idea? This is a paranormal franchise. I get it, like, modern FNAF is more, like, sci-fi, but really, illusion discs? Like, I don't know, that just seems a bit silly. Anyways, if Twisted Wolf spawns with Plushtrap, Plushtrap will always go to the right side of the office, making him considerably more consistent. Nightmare BB can appear on the cameras as you're switching through them. Just butterfly click his face and he'll go away really quickly. He also has this weird bug where if you pull up the cameras and switch to the vent or game system too quickly, he'll spawn on one of those systems and just not be able to be dealt with. So if you choose Nightmare BB, take a beat between pulling up the cameras and switching to the other systems. However, I only had that happen on my old computer, so maybe it was just a bug with my old computer and Nightmare Balloon Boy is completely functional. Nightmare Yon is here too. I hate Nightmare Yon. He'll appear on either side of your office. Looking at him will kill you. I wonder where I've seen that before. Finally, the extra animatronic, Molten Freddy. He works almost identically to the main 4 animatronics, except instead of a laugh or a growl or running, it sounds like someone dancing in sheet metal. I don't know. Just close the door until you hear the thunk sound. Anyway, Night 5 again was super easy. What do you want me to say? Ooh, Night 5 was scary. Oh. This Salvage location no longer has any extra animatronics, but every animatronic here is a top threat and about as difficult as the extra animatronics. So just keep that in mind when choosing. This location is based off the sister location, Bunker. I think you probably guessed that already, but, you know, someone would complain if I didn't mention it. Baby requires you to collect 20 of her Bitty Babs before 6 AM. They all have very consistent spawning locations, so you should be able to memorize them very easily. Valora will spawn at a random hour and require you to collect 4 mini arenas quickly. She's honestly not that difficult, but she does have a timer on her that's about 30 seconds. Funtime Foxy will have a showtime on 15-second intervals, but with our strategy, they only really have a chance to attack us once or twice before we get the laser doors. So while they are a very difficult threat on 4720, they're pretty free here. Funtime Freddy will either attack the left or right door, either sending Bonbon to the opposite door or charging the same door he's on, depending on if he has Bonbon in his hand or not. Where have I seen that before? Oh wait, it's not a UCN thing this time, it's sister location. It's still a where have I seen that before joke, so you know, it's... Let me have this. Lolhax will add a random animatronic currently unadded to your roster. This is what we were setting up for by not taking JJ or Withered Chica. See, I told you I'm smart, you would get payout for earlier.
Stand ready for my arrival, worm.
Lolbit will raise the prices by double. Now it's time I come clean. I tried this run 5 other times, and all of them failed because of my insistence on getting Lolbit. And if you've been following me for a while, you know I really love Lolbit. But with them active, I cannot currently beat this challenge with my skill set. So, it's with a heavy heart, I say Lolbit will not be joining us on night 6, and this will be my roster. Now, all of these nights up until now, I've only died once the Springtrap on a weird little fumble. Nothing of note. But this challenge has yet to have a mental block like night 6. Now, I could explain what was so shitty about night 6, but I already did that with the 5th salvage section, so I'm throwing you strategy immediately. Starting the night, look to see what Lolhack's choices are. The ones worth picking are Withered Chica, JJ, Dreadbear, and Rodney Redbird. Who is Rodney Redbird? This is Rodney Redbird. And then reset if you didn't get a good addition. Trust me, you're gonna reset a lot. Go into the cameras and then collect Biddy Babs until 13 seconds. Close the right door to block Withered Freddy at about 13 seconds. And go to the Vents tab. Block Lefty if they're able to be blocked, then drop the cameras. Deal with the office cycle threats as they come, and immediately after taking care of everybody, check on Lefty again and repeat until Lefty is trapped. At around 45 seconds into the night, close the left door to guarantee that Springtrap is unable to enter your office. Then purchase the first laser door and activate them just after 1 AM. Don't forget to collect the rest of the Biddy Babs, because you will die if you miss one. There are 2 branching routes with the Mimic Ball here. Either buy an extra distortion clock, which will require a total of 122 coins for all 3 clocks, or use the Mimic Ball to buy a 3rd laser door, which is what I did in my winning run, and it will only cost 70 coins for all 3 doors. After the first laser doors are bought, start playing Fred Sweeper, and only take down the cameras with Withered Foxy, Dreadbear, RWQ, or one of the Vent animatronics appear. You could buy the AR mask, but I found it wasn't worth it. Remember to activate the laser doors when need be, and make sure to actually buy the distortion clocks. With enough luck and skill, night 6, with no upgrades, max animatronic salvage, on lunatic difficulty, should be complete. Thank you all so much for your patience. I know this video might seem underwhelming, but it took a lot of time to get done, and honestly, I would rank it similar difficulty to Blood 720 and -7. Hopefully, I should be able to make more videos come out more frequently, but regardless, I don't do outros. See ya.